A while back, I wanted to build a PC that wasn't too cheap nor too expensive, and that is when Project Electric Bicycle was born. A PC that wasn't too cheap nor too expensive. So I guess let's get started. Okay, so let's start off with the parts. So for the CPU, this was not a hard choice. I wanted something on the new Intel Skylake platform, so I ended up picking out an Intel Xeon E3-1225 V5 quad-core processor. Now this processor is equivalent to an i5-6600, but the advantage it has over the i5 is that it's great for multi-threaded workloads like video editing and virtual machines and whatnot. And it works out pretty great. And for the cooling for it, I'm using the Intel stock cooler for now. My plan is to swap it out with a Noctua or like some all-in-one liquid cooler in the future just to get me cooler temps. But overall, the Xeon does run cooler than the i-series equivalent. So for right now, it works out great. For the motherboard, I'm using a Gigabyte X150M Plus workstation Micro ATX LGA 1151 motherboard. Now this motherboard I got on sale for around $50, and the reason why I had to get that instead of a Z series is because Intel decided to change their minds and make you buy a special platform for the Xeons on the Intel Skylake platform. So when I bought this motherboard that Gigabyte had, now I do plan on swapping out for an ATX motherboard in the future, but right now it works just fine and gets the job done. Now for the GPU, this was not a hard choice. I wanted something that performed well. And before anyone starts hating on me and saying that I should have gotten a new one, let me let you guys know that I went and bought this GPU around the time April. Actually, yeah, I got the GPU around April, and this is like right before the 1070 and 1080 launch. So it works, but I will be changing it out soon just to have the newest thing. And it is the GTX 970 G1 Gaming WindForce, which it's a great card. It's just a little bit long. In fact, I had to remove some of the hard drive cages out of the case, but it works and it stays pretty cool for that matter. Then for the memory in the PC, I'm using G.Skill Ripjaws V-Series 1 8GB stick of RAM, and it works out pretty well. I'm going to probably throw another one in there soon to have 16GB, so I can run Chrome, because Chrome uses a lot of RAM. That's only if you have a bunch of tabs open, by the way. For the case, I'm using an Intermax Ostrog ATX mid-tower case. It works out great. The only big complaint about it is don't buy it refurbished from Directon, because there's some little things about it that I didn't care for, but it works out great for a first build. But it is a little cramped, and so it does limit your upgrades, but it's a mid-tower case and it works. In fact, I'll probably, when I stop using this for my personal rig later on, I'll probably still keep it around for just other PCs that I have. For the power supply, this one was a great deal. It was an EVGA 600 watt 80 plus bronze ATX power supply. Now this gets the job done. It's not modular, but it works. And then for the fans, I'm running two Be Quiet Pure Rings 2 fans. I have one in the front, one in the back. Make sure though you buy the 4-pin one if you want to control the fan speed on your computer, because if you only buy the 3-pin one like me, they're going to always run at 100% unless you get a different fan controller, because I'm using a Silverstone fan controller and it requires it to have 4 pins so you can control the fan speed. But I learned from that. And then for the last part, I'm using a LED lights from eBay. Oh, and I forgot, for the storage, I'm using a Samsung 850 EVO SSD 120GB, and I have a Western Digital Scorpio Blue 320GB for my mechanical storage, because it was an old drive that I had laying around, so I just threw it in there for now. Now I will be swapping out probably with something like a WD Black soon. So I guess let's move on to the benchmarks. So for Unigine Heaven, Ultra settings 1080p. It got around 115 FPS, which is great. It's not bad, but it's great for 1080p gaming. So that 970 still has some life in it for at least another year, maybe 2 years at the most. Now I will be switching out just because I can, but if I were to stick with it, it would last me for a couple more years at least. Fire Strike, I got 2950 for my score, which falls like right above the minimum spec for a VR capable rig. Now, the graph right here shows a gaming laptop above it. Keep in mind, when I looked at the details for it, it was running a i7 mobile CPU and a GTX 970 desktop graphics card in the laptop. So it's kind of put my system at a disadvantage because it is running a better graphics card instead of the mobile graphics from last gen. And also, it works and it fits right where it's supposed to on the Fire Strike graph. And then let's move on to something else. Minecraft. It got an average of 250 frames per second, so it means it's really smooth. Now you're going to probably want to put VSync on so you're not doing a bunch of screen tearing, but it works out great. TF2, same thing. It gets about an average of 188 frames per second, which is not too bad. It's very high frame rates. I'm just throwing light things out there just because I can. Now Unigine and Fire Strike, of course those weren't light ones, but you can still see that they'll pull in decent frame rates. And then let's move on to Cinebench OpenGL test. I got an average of 116 frames per second on that. Now that is a car chase scene. It works out great for OpenGL, testing that out. And then let's move on to the final GPU thing. So for Steam VR, is this PC capable according to Steam? Yes. It says it's VR ready, and I even ran Fraps on one of the runs and got about an average of 116 frames per second. Now, that does also keep in mind that some games, heavier games, may run at lower frame rates, but either way, it's still going to be VR capable for what it's worth. And then the temperatures, and this is the last thing I have. For the GPU, under load, 60 degrees Celsius. Now, at idle, it sits about maybe about 40. Actually, it's probably lower than that, but it's about 40. I did not keep track of that, sadly, but it stays pretty cool because I'm in a pretty cool room. And then for the CPU, under load, it was sitting around 50 degrees Celsius, and then at idle, it's probably about 30. Yes, and it's gonna sit cooler than the GPU because it puts out less heat. Anything else? Yes. The total cost of this build, it's about, if you were to go do it, it's a great deal. According to PC Part Picker right now, you can get it for around, yeah, I'm not going to go off that, but when I was pricing it prices for a decent amount of money. I'll have the final price in the description because I don't have it right here, but it priced out great. For what it's worth, it works. There was some upgrades I want to do, but the experience of building a PC, it was fun. Would I do it again? Yes. In fact, I've already started planning on my next build. Let's just say it's a $200 AMD build. So you guys will see that soon. But other than that, PC building was fun. I learned some things. I've swapped out hardware on PC before, but I've never actually built my own PC, but I've learned some things from it, so it's kind of fun. So let's just see what the future has in hold. Maybe I'll do something like water cooling and whatnot. But this system's gonna last me for a little while. Now we'll be doing upgrades and stuff every now and again, but honestly, the core components will last me a little while. And for what it's worth, it's a great PC. So yeah, remember to like, comment, subscribe. I hope you like this video. This is something different. Also, tell me if you like the new editing. Now, I'm trying out something different. I'm actually using Wondershell software to edit it now because I got GPU accelerations. Yay! So tell me how you like it, because honestly, I think this is gonna work out great. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I think I already said that, and I will see you guys next time.